Mic check. Mic check, mic check. What's up, what's up? How y'all doing? Good? Alright. So, usually we're streaming on Fridays, and we still got the stream going up Friday this week. We just had a customer request for their build to be built on stream. I promised that I was going to do a certain build on last Friday, or the Friday before that even, and I postponed it, and last Friday I postponed it again. So this Friday we're going to do that build with the LCD fans. So I figured we could just do an extra stream this week for the customer's build. So we'll be doing that build today, and then Friday we'll still be doing our regular time, 2 p.m. Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, right? Which is different time for y'all, wherever you're watching from. But yeah, so still same time Friday, same build that I've been promising, with those Lee LCD fans, really cool fans. But yeah, today we got a customer's build. It is I think it's an Apollo, right? It's an Apollo. We use this case for a couple different of our builds here. I think we use it for a Titan and Apollo. We used to use it for a Centaur as well, but we changed that. Yeah, so today is going to be an Apollo. You got a B550 Pro 4 from AsRock motherboard, right? 4060 with a 5600X. I believe there was no upgrades here. Yep, 5600X. Full RGB fans, so 6 deep cool fans. The matrix case is from Deep Cool. We kind of collab with them and have our own name on it and stuff like that. And then Deep Cool tower cooler for the 5600 with a 650 watt from XPG. So this is like our most popular build. I did one of these when we did the build-a-thon on that one Friday where I did 3 builds. We did three builds that day, and this was one of them. So I have built this on stream before. Oh, excuse me. Woo. Okay. Told you to stop messing with that rag. You got all the allergies going here. Okay, excuse me for that. I just went to the side to sneeze. Yeah. So we got this build here today. It's gonna be in black. And yeah, well, another thing I didn't mention is it does have one of those diamond crystal RGB strips in there that I've showed off on stream before too. So let's get started here. I'll put the matrix case down for now. I'll pop up that case in a sec here. I just want to get started on the motherboard. So we got the B550 M Pro 4, so it's an MATX motherboard. This case does take ATX, MATX, ITX, right? Even if you wanted to, that would kind of look weird in a big case like that. But it is your standard like standard mid tower case, right? Not too small. Not too small, not too big. Power supply lives on the shroud. So it is like a single chamber case, but really good size for what you can pack into it. And it looks good with all the glass and stuff. What's up, Zack Attack? Unleashed XX760. Well, struggling to get. I don't deal directly with getting the parts in and stuff, but I think the market is just kind of volatile, and has been, I think, for the past year or so. The release of 4000 series NVIDIA cards, I don't think did as well as the 3000 series video cards. I mean, obviously they're better, but in terms of like everybody buying those up, I don't think the 4000 did as well. They came out with the 7000 series CPUs, and then Intel came out with 13, 14 gen, and I think the market's just so volatile that I don't know. There's a lot of reasons for shortages as well. I'm not too sure what we were missing out on here, but it wasn't so bad. I remember when like the crypto days, and like with the lockdowns, like with the pandemic and stuff like that. Those days were worse than anything that we've seen since. So it wasn't as bad as that, but I guess there was still some shortages and stuff like that. I'm just not too sure exactly what it was unleashed. Sorry if that. Try to answer your question as best as I can here. Okay, I don't know why I unboxed the 4060. I guess I'm just trying to clear my space up here of all the boxes. I usually tend to do that when I build normally. But anyways, that is a 4060 from Gigabyte. I will talk about that later when I'm putting that into the system. Just toss it on the side here. But yeah, we got the Pro 4 from AsRock, MATX motherboard. Pretty standard, 4 DIMM slots, AM4, and you actually get 2 NVMe slots there, M.2 slots, connectors. But yeah, we got the RGB Fury RAM. So this build is basically decked out, completely RGB fans, 6 of them. That's all 6 that fit into the case there. Tower cooler has some RGB on it, and then the RGB strip there. But yeah, we got the Fury RGB Kingston Fury RGB RAM, Beast RAM. They have a lot of naming to their just one RAM stick. This is going to be 16 gigabytes, so 8 gigabytes each stick. Got those locked in there. And we got the 5600X AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. Very popular CPU. I think actually the most used from the 5000 series. Good price for the performance that you get out of it. Have that slotted in. I think actually they're rebooting the 5000 series with the XTs. I'm not sure. I think if you talk to like customer support, they'll better help you with all those type of questions. Is this your build? I'm not too sure. I won't dox your real name if it is you. We'll just call you Unleashed. But if this is your build, I'm glad that you're here to check it out. Sorry if it took longer than expected or promised, but you could always talk to customer service about that. I don't really have all the info for you here myself. Oh, actually don't need that. And we got a 2 terabyte NVMe. And put that in there under this heatsink. So this motherboard is pretty good. Pretty neat. Little color schemes, kind of like silverish black, a little white on the PCB there. And it's a shame that the NVMe lives like behind or under the GPU. Sometimes they have them like up here, so that way you can see it. I guess, I don't know. It looks pretty, I guess, but the GPU is prettier, I guess. I don't know. It is a bit of a compact motherboard, so it is the M-ATX, right? So I'm pretty sure they had maybe some issues probably having it up here, so having it down there just made more sense. But nonetheless, still nice, and it's good for the NVMe to have a little heatsink there with thermal pad. Let me toss the cooler on, so I'll get that done too. Just to basically have all the motherboard stuff done before I get the case opened. Oh, so this isn't your build, huh? Yeah, you're better off asking customer support or tech support, customer service. I know there's all the contacts there on our website, or maybe even email. There's a lot of ways to contact us, but yeah, for me here on stream, it's kind of hard for me to answer those questions. I will try to the best of my abilities, but yeah, I can't really access your guys' files from here. Okay, so we got this deep cool tower cooler. It's the Gamex GT8 RGB, right? So it's adjustable RGB. Pretty cool. Little tower cooler. Works pretty well, right? We see a lot of tower coolers on the market today. Even Amazon made their own. Amazon literally made their own tower cooler, which is insane. But this Dipco one we've been using for a while. This is basically the only tower cooler that we use. It's really good, reliable, and I mean, for a 5600X, it's going to be really good. You don't really need a water cooler. You don't need an AIO or anything for a 5600X. So let's get this mounting solution all figured out here. So since this is AM4, we will be using this mounting kit. For AM5, they came up with a different mounting kit that you can still use the backplate that the motherboard comes with. With this one, you have to use this backplate. Which I kind of already have a lot of experience with, so slide that in there. I think this one's more secure anyways. I like this mounting solution. washers on there. All right. But yeah, since you guys' builds haven't, I don't know the update on them, but assuming they haven't been built yet, like you guys are saying, you could request to have them built on stream if you guys want, so you can check them out. Like this customer having theirs built on stream today. If you want to, invite your friends to watch that or whatnot. I know everybody wants to just get their build and start gaming it up or using it for whatever you have to use it for. If it doesn't hurt to have it built on stream, right? A little fun, a little experience. Right, so we got this AMD mounting solution onto the actual radiator, I guess this is called, the heatsink. And take a little sticker off. We'll be using the thermal paste that they've provided for us. The cool thermal paste. Just gonna put it right in the middle there. And I'll squeeze out a little bit. Alright, and this should spread evenly. And I place this on top, if I did everything correctly. Alright, I can just spread it a little bit. Oh yeah, that's... Once the pressure goes down with these screws too, it'll spread the paste even more. Get these little screws on. So basically the back plate has these screws that are pointing up from the back plate. Vertically, you get the heatsink on there and you get the screws to tighten down to that back plate. It's a pretty good mounting solution from Cool. You could use the same for Intel as well. So that back plate works for Intel. They give you different brackets to put on the heatsink itself. We don't have the usual chat that we do on Fridays. I did see Zach Attack though. Zach Attack's here. Zach, did you get your build? If you're listening in, hopefully you got your build. Hope you're having fun with that. Awesome, awesome build. 14 fans is pretty crazy, and the way just the motherboard's mounted in there and the GPU, it's absolutely insane build. Probably one of the craziest ones I've worked on for sure. At the very sure it's one of the most unique ones I've worked on. So sweet dreams. Oh, nice. Yeah, it finally came in. Wow, barely today. Cool. Nice. Hopefully you can get that set up real soon. Next few days, I guess you're pretty busy. Hopefully by the week, at least it came in before the weekend, so that way you could just game it up all weekend if you really wanted to. We did ship the GPU separately, just because that case is a little crazy, so we didn't want to risk the GPU breaking or anything like that. All right, so we got this tower cooler on there. I don't know if you guys ever see me put a tower cooler on stream. I don't know if that last Apollo I did had a tower cooler. I don't know. I'm not sure if I did it with an AIO or tower cooler, but pretty easy, pretty simple. Get the fan on there. It has like these little hooks here. Put it into the CPU fan 1. This is for RGB here. So basically pretty much all set up. We got the RAM in there, CPU cooler, and the NVMe. I'll put that to the side now. We'll pop out the case. So this is the Matrix 59? Matrix 55? What is it? Yeah, Matrix 55 version 3 tool. Basically, we use this as our Apollo case, Titan case. We do have our name on it with Deeppool. All right. So it's your standard little mid-tower case. Is it mid-tower? Mid-tower. Oh, I fixed the last stream. Gotta get that fixed. But beautiful case. Our Apollo again, I think, is our most sold build, so it's the case we use the most. Really neat. Got the glass in the front, glass on the side there. Airflow from the top. Ventilation up here for 2 fans. Back fan, 3 fans in the front. It has the glass here, but it does actually have good airflow. It breathes through the sides here. And temps are perfectly fine in a case like this for a 5600X. No overheating issues. Take this backplate off. So it's basically simple, regular case. You know, that you'll see a gaming PC, generic gaming PC, right? Single chamber with the PSU shroud there. Power supply will live on the bottom. Got a little drive bay back here too, for hard drives or SSDs, or even if you had like some controllers, if you wanted to put like some RGB stuff that use controllers, you could just use those spots instead of putting drives in there. We'll pop out one of these. And I think probably this back bracket. That's this back bracket here that kind of just covers up the brackets there for the GPU. So take that off there. Actually, I'll use that as like a screw holder for now. Now, I already know where everything is going to go, so I took the 2 brackets off here because I know that's where the GPU will live. And we'll do some stand off stuff. Just prepare it for the MATX motherboard. It comes in like the ATX setup, standard setup there. So I'll just change it to the MATX setup that we have here for this motherboard. Don't change the all right. So I had the standard ATX setup there with all those 3 on the bottom there without this middle one. I moved one of the bottom ones there, the other bottom one up here, and then just took one out. So that's perfect for the motherboard that we got here. And you do get like some zip ties and some cables, some RGB cables and stuff, and you get the screws. We're gonna need those screws there. Put this on the side here. I include all the extra stuff for the customer, just in case they needed to do some upgrades in the future or whatever they were doing with wanted to do with their PC. Where did I leave the heatsink? Oh, there we go. Right here. Or not the heatsink, the I/O shield. Now with this motherboard, AsRock does give like a padded I/O shield. Not every manufacturer does this, or at least not for every motherboard. AsRock most of the time anyways has the I/O shield attached to the motherboard, and I know a lot of companies are doing that now, especially with like their higher end motherboards. But definitely nice to have a padded one here just for the airflow to kind of stay in. The outside air doesn't come in through like the back down here. So we'll see this. I'll kind of stuff those cables back there behind the motherboard and then deal with them from behind the case. Have it all in there. Boom. And just get some screws in here. So this was a pretty simple way of building. This is like the most traditional way of building a gaming PC, right? After all the old school ways, right? Before you had like the cases with like the CD optical drive area there in the front, or if you were using like an HP or a Dell, like just desktop, like, you know, home office computer type of deal, and you just shove the GPU in there. I guess that's the real original way, but when things became more and more gaming, this was like the setup, right? You know, just a standard little case like this. Power supply goes on the bottom. I mean, on those HP and Dell's, power supply used to be on the top sometimes, so that was pretty trippy. I know some gaming PCs, they've kind of done that. Just I think as a one-off for a lot of companies, they try it out. So here's a Reese's screw. But yeah, this is a pretty traditional way of just doing it. I know nowadays we got like the O11s and dual chamber cases, like, right? Like last week on Friday we did that Corsair 6500, and it was just like dual chamber, you know, class dual chamber, and then you get more fans that you can put in there and stuff. The 5000 that I was explaining last week too from Corsair, you could fit like more fans back here. So it still had like this setup where the power supply was on the bottom. You get fans intake, exhaust. Then they added this part that was kind of like the dual chamber cases, but still kept the PSU down here. So it was like single chamber, but still had some of the dual chamber features to it. So it was pretty cool. But definitely fan of that 6500. But yeah, this Matrix, easy, simple setup. They kind of do some of the cable management here that I'm going to be undoing, just because I'm going to do it my own way. And they didn't really manage it much. They just kind of plugged everything in and kind of just zipped it to this metal bracket here. And yeah, no, we're not going to go with that. Kind of looks ugly anyways. So they just do that for shipping and stuff. They're not really like trying to manage it for you, right? They just do that just for shipping purposes. So we'll undo some of the zip ties here. Now this has a controller that you could use if you wanted just to have a button on the top to change your RGB. That button's like on the top there next to the front IO or the top IO, right? The USBs and the start button, but we connect the RGB to the motherboard nowadays, so that way it gives more options to um, like change your RGB and stuff. So we don't use that controller there. So I just disconnected everything from that. Um, and we'll be connecting straight to the motherboard. But I do leave it there just in case in the future, I don't know, when you have this PC for a couple of years, you want to change your case or whatever, and then you want to maybe use this case for a different type of build, and just want to use this controller instead of motherboard or whatever, I just leave it there, kind of just leave it be. Everyone can use it in the future can. And do some cable management here. All right. Glad to see you here, Zach. Sweet dreams. I know it's not Friday, but if you didn't hear earlier, we still will be streaming Friday, so hope to see you there on Friday as well. But yeah, we had a customer request to have theirs built on stream, and I've been promising a different build for a couple weeks now for the Friday stream, so I didn't want to skip out on that once again, because I know I skipped out like twice on it. So we will be doing that build with the Lee LCD fans on Friday, and we figured, hey, why not just do an extra stream this week so we could do the customer stream, so kind of get everything done and satisfy every possible thing we can do. Needed a sip of water there. All right, so I'm gonna actually put in some fans, and then we'll go back to the cable management here. Let's toss in some of these fans. Here, switch it back. Right. The wire stuck on this. Oh, right. We have some screws. Oh, drop the screw. Okay. Gonna feed this through. So this case does fit 6 fans. There's already 3 pre-installed fans. That's how we kind of ordered them from Deep Cool. And our logo's all over the case here too. So we got our logo up here on the front and the side here. So logos all over the place here and on the fans. So it's gonna be decked out. VRLA build. How do I get these top fans on there? So there is like a dust filter up here and some like tape just so it doesn't come off in shipping. So I will be leaving that tape, and then the customer can take it off themselves if they want. It is magnetic, so it won't come off. In shipping, it's like those magnets are not powerful enough. That's why they use the tape, but it won't come out just like regular use without the tape there. So let me just screw these in. Back here. All right. Another top one. So we got 3 in the front, 2 on top, 1 in the back. So it's going to be like a neutral airflow here, right? I think I explained before. That's good for like, eliminating dust well, not eliminating, but you know, decreasing the amount of dust you'd have from using the build, right? If you have a neutral airflow, the best is to have a positive airflow. So you want more intake than exhaust. That way you reduce as much dust coming into the case as possible. But with neutral, it's not bad either. So you have 3 intake, 3 exhaust. And the airflow should be good. I mean, technically there's a 7th fan in there with the tower cooler. That's not attached. That's working on the inside there. And it has all that cold air coming in from the intake blowing directly at it. So it is getting a lot of good air flow straight to the CPU. But that one I don't really think helps with the dust that much. The most important ones are the faces of the cases. Faces of the cases. So yeah, like those 3 front intake and then 2 exhaust on top, 1 exhaust in the back. It's a good deal. I think most traditional like gaming PCs do like this too. You know, you get the 3 exhaust, 3 intake, 3 exhaust, right? 2 from top, 1 from the back. The one in the back is like just the original setup there. The only case I haven't that doesn't have it really is the 11 Dynamic, the old one. But now with the Vision and the new Evo 11s, they added that option back in there anyway. So they strayed away from tradition originally, but now they're back to doing that same thing anyways. But yeah, clean build. 3 in front, 2 on top, 1 in back. Also, this works well for the VRMs, right? So that you got that VRM heatsink and that fan is just right there. So it's pulling all that heat away from the VRMs. It's pretty neat. This front panel pops off. I'm just going to pop that off there so I could just get these wires here to the bottom. Easier for me to cable manage that way. And we'll just pop it back on. Very clean, very easy. And we'll go back to the cable management. Actually, I'll just do some front I/O stuff. So we got the power button here. Is the B550 AMD motherboard a Wi-Fi card? I think your question is, does it come with Wi-Fi? It doesn't come with Wi-Fi, at least not this variant that we're using today with this one here. There are variants of this exact motherboard that does have Wi-Fi. So the AsRock B550M Pro 4 Wi-Fi, or I think it'll be called AX actually. So AsRock has a weird naming scheme like that, and it'll say AX for the variant of this motherboard that does come with Wi-Fi. We could add Wi-Fi with like through the PCIe slot here, so the extra PCIe slot that the GPU is not going into. We could add Wi-Fi that way to this motherboard. And it does have the slot actually right here, which is an M.2 slot that is kind of proprietary to AsRock. I really only see AsRock doing it this way. And we can get that little piece there to hook up the Wi-Fi that way as well if you didn't want to give up that PCIe bracket there. Yeah, so a couple different ways to achieve getting Wi-Fi on a board like this. We just didn't get the variant that has Wi-Fi included. All right. So I got some of the front I/O plugged in, power button, 2 USB 2.0s, and then you get a USB 3.0, and then HD audio. So you get 3 USBs, power button, and a 3.5mm jack for your headphones, if you use those type of headphones instead of using USB headphones. But now just do the cable management here. So these builds are relatively easier and faster at doing than like a higher end PC with like the more complicated dual chamber cases, and like a lot more RGB and like LCD stuff, and so those builds tend to take longer and more complicated to route all the cables and stuff like that. With a case like this, it's fairly easy to do so. Um, so now I'll just kind of work on the cable management, show you guys all what I'm up to. Also, can you get me one more of these and one more? So RGB and fan, and then can you get me the what goes to the motherboard, the 3-pin 5-volt? You know, the one with the dangling piece off of it? Yeah. Can you get 2 of those? Thank you. My bad. So I'll work on some of the cable management here. Show you guys how I do it on these cases. There is a couple different ways of doing it on this case. This is the way I've gotten used to doing it. You could go like down this way, down this way. There's a lot of different places to, zip tie the wires to. And there even are some slots here for like SSDs that they include, but you can just use those as little zip tie spots too. And then you get those 2 bays. You can kind of stuff stuff in there if you wanted to, right? Put controllers in there and hide some cables. So really easy case to cable manage here. I should actually plug these 2 in. And I had Jerry grab me some of these. I'll use these. I'm gonna ask for the ones with the dangling, dangling piece. You mean? It's like a dangling, instead of the gigabyte one, it's like the other, male piece, like the ones that come with the AIO. Oh, okay. Thank you. My bad. Just wanted to plug in fan splitter. So we're having 3 fans on the front. 3. So I won't be needing the rest of this here. 3 fans on the front, and then 3 on the top and back. So I'll use that on a different splitter. And pop these in. Boom and boom. So I got those 3 plugged in. I know it looks like chaos right now, but it'll look prettier as we go. And then for the RGB, we got 3 on the fan, and then 1 from the case, because the case kind of has like this front RGB strip here. So, oh, that camera died there too. So we'll be using 4 for that. Thank you, thank you. Can you take them from my box?
Not from the AIO boxes.
Oh, I have a lot in my box there. I'll show you later. Then I'll get this into the motherboard as well. So it's a 5-volt, 3-pin 5-volt splitter here, or header, that we're gonna put into splitter and split between the fans and the strips. We actually do also have the RGB strip that I have to get in here. Don't want to forget about that. Camera's always dying because I got battery. What do we got?
Something.
I don't know when.
No, yesterday.
Guess. What, are we doing it in 4K? Does that burn much?
I think you need a battery picture. It's not mentioned in cord.
Yeah, that's for like pictures, but it's a nice camera. Yes. We will reap the benefits of it as much as we can. Okay, I get that camera back on. Well, I'm on this cable management part anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So now I got the RGB with the 3 fans and the 1 RGB strip. And I will leave this one open because I'll try to get the diamond RGB strip hooked up to that as well. So see how all that comes together. Gotta bunch this all together here. Now there's a lot of options I got with this. I can have this here where I'm gonna put it, or so I can have this here, or I can have it up here, or I can have it stuffed in there. There's so many different ways to cable manage this with this case here. But I like having it here just in case there's any troubleshooting that needs to be done. These 3 fans in the front, all the wires for it is just living here, so it's easy to deal with, to troubleshoot if anything is going it's up with it. I think it looks neat there. I used to stuff them down here, but I use that space for other drives or stuffing these wires instead. So I found this was the best solution here, and you can't see them from the front of the case, so it's a perfect little spot for them to like just live there, and easy to deal with, right? If you need to change a fan or anything, you just come in here, unplug. Yeah, and it's made it. I was thinking more troubleshooting in mind when I did that kind of cable management, and that's what I tended. My philosophy now tends to be for that in a way. I'll try to think about, hey, what can I do to like help out with troubleshooting when I do these, right? My biggest concern is making it look pretty from the front. Right, you want it to look pretty from the front, so you want to eliminate a lot of the cables from the front. But so you want to make it look pretty in the back too. Just sometimes you want to keep in like troubleshooting stuff in mind too. You don't want to make it too messy, or try to make it too pretty where when you can't access a cable or something like that when you're trying to figure out what's wrong with the fan or the RGB or stuff like that. So I kind of try to simplify it, make it look pretty and kind of functional at the same time. And again, like we just said, like last week on Friday when we were doing that Corsair case with the Project Zero motherboard, that one eliminated all the cables from the front anyways, right? So that one I didn't really have to think much of, well, what should I do from the front end of things, and it kind of just cable managed itself. And with those kind of cases, you get like the dual chamber setup anyways, so it's easier for you to troubleshoot stuff like that in a dual chamber case. You got a lot more space in the back there for the cable management and stuff, so it's just easier to go about that. But in a case like this, it's a little bit harder to make it look pretty. I mean, those new Project Zero stuff is really eliminating all the ugliness of the cables in the front. So I mean, that just comes by design, and a build like this existed well before that, so the technology is different there. But yeah, we will be plugging in another RGB strip. It's always a war against cables, I guess, when it comes to building, is my point that I was trying to make. Right. Now, 3 fans and the fan on the tower cooler. So we get those plugged in. So with these builds, like I was mentioning earlier, they're faster too. Not only is it easier, but it's faster because it is easier, I guess. And then when you get a lot of experience with them, you start knowing like how to manage it and stuff like right away. So kind of just becomes the second nature to you. Just kind of doing things like how you always been doing them. Right. Okay, so now to make it look all pretty, make it look pretty. Right. I'll just add a zip tie here. Okay. Push this around so I can get a better feel for it. And the more zip ties that you use, the prettier it'll come out looking. You can really get those cables in line in uniform, right? We'll get this done here. Okay. Well, sometimes you'll zip tie something, but you have to cut that zip tie. Maybe you just wanted to get it all bunched up so you can use your hands for other parts of it. Get a different zip tie on there, and then you could cut the other one off. Yes, I will deal with this in a sec. So kind of just have it dealt with now. Get it look pretty, and then I'll move on to a different part and come back to that once I get everything situated. Now we do got these cool little diamond RGB strips here. And I will be kind of found the best spot for these in this case is in the front here. So I'll place it there. So it comes with a little magnet, and you can switch it around and stuff, but for shipping I will add this little sticky double-sided tape that it comes with, just so that way it doesn't move around in shipping. So we'll apply that. Boom. So I could either go with the wire from the bottom or through the top. I think I'm gonna go through the bottom so it's hidden more. Because with the wire through the top, it'll kind of be showing. Boom, kind of in the middle of that, and then the wire kind of just hides on the bottom there. Into the shroud, we'll plug it in on the back. Pretty simple, easy, it's beautiful actually. So 3 fans in the front, 2 on top, 1 in the back. You got the RGB strip in the front here, and then the other one here with the diamond one. So pretty neat, really pretty. Move the little zip tie. Oh. All right, and I will. So this strip comes with some different cables for other RGB controllers and options, and with like a male and female 3-pin 5-volt connector here. So I'll just kind of zip tie that together, so not just dangling around. And then we'll put it to the motherboard, or to the cables that are going to the motherboard there. They do have some extra cable. And then there was cable here on the bottom. So that one had a male on it. It was a female with a male connector. That's what the names of these connectors are here. I will put some electrical tape there just to keep them together, and then zip tie this to the rest of the build here, kind of like so that way it kind of just stays safe and doesn't move around much. Boom. And so it's really easy to come in, check out, hey look, all my fan headers are here with the RGB headers for the 3 front fans, the 2 top and the 1 back are over here, so it's not all tangled together, and it's very easy to figure out what's going on, what's where, what's what, really. And yeah, so I'll clean this up a little bit more. I'll put some electrical tape there, kind of clean this up more here, and then when I get a chance for that, oh, see, I needed to actually. Oh, that's fine. Oh, I can stuff those in there, kind of make it, get them out of the way, make them more in line with what I need to do here, but I actually need to get the power supply in. So we got the XPG Kyber power supply. So I think the other one's called what's the other one called? I forget the name of the newer ones here, but yeah, you get some stickers, their little avatar thing there, quick start guide, y'all will be needing that. Power supply, and then the cable, 650 watt, 80 plus gold. This one's not cybernetics rated like their newer ones, or their higher end ones, I should say. Screws as well. But 80 plus gold, right? That the 80 plus is the original ratings. So 80 plus gold. I think there's only platinum after that, if I remember correctly. So 80 plus gold, really good. And then I think they're like 750s, 850s, 1000s. Those are like a different name to them. I forgot the name of those power supplies. It's just the name that they give them. But those are really good power supplies as well. And those are cybernetics rated as well. So you get some stickers of their little avatar there too. Same thing with the other ones. But yeah, the cybernetics rating is really good. But you know, you could trust XPG to make some good power supplies if they're already using 2 rating systems on their other power supplies. There's no hang up here if, with this one here, just for not using those ratings. So we'll get a zip tie here. We won't be using any of the SATA or Molex, so I'd like to zip tie those together. Boom, kind of stuff them in there. And then leave the option open if you want to add anything that uses those things, like a drive later down the line. You always got that option there. Just access the back of your computer. And then we got the PCI VGA power cable here. Kind of like to just add a zip tie there. Boom, just makes it look neat. We won't be using those cables anyway. And this card, it only has one 8-pin connector anyways, so we're using the one 8-pin connector there on the tip, on the end. And same thing goes for this CPU cable. You get 2 of them on a 650 watt, so that's pretty rare. I don't see that much, but we'll zip tie that onto itself there and just use the one, because this motherboard only uses one 8-pin connector anyways. All right, so let's get this slotted in here. So some of these cables are in the way. What I do mostly is try to like maneuver these ones out the way and then these ones to the right, so they're kind of just not in the way when you do that. And then you just slide it in there. Boom. And then we'll get it in as well. We get 4 screws with the power supply, and there's some extras that come with the case anyways, but we'll use the ones with the power supply. Boom. Boom. Boom and boom. All right. I like to get them in and then tighten them up after. Oh. Okay. And like I was saying earlier, you just stuff these SATA and Molex cables in there. Boom, they're always there for you to use them in the future. In this case, there is like a little cutout for the VGA cable, for the PCIe cable here for the power, for the GPU. So I'll kind of just sneak that through there. Get this GPU motherboard 24 pin in through there. Actually, I'll go through here, kind of make it cleaner. Line it up with these cables, and then you get the CPU cable in through there, and then we'll flip it over and plug everything in. Right. So boom, 24 pin in. And we might as well slot in the card. So we got a Gigabyte 4060 here, 2-fan little card. I know nowadays they're starting to make the 3-fan ones, but for a 4060, you don't really need that much cooling anyways. It's an 8-pin connector, and the power draw is not significant enough for the 3 fans anyways on a card like this, but it's still nonetheless very powerful card. If it wasn't for the 3060 being so popular, I think this would be the most purchased card anyways, and it's better than a 3060 really, and it's the same price now. I think like I was saying earlier, just the 3000 series did so well, everybody bought those up. But now if you're making that purchase, you would want the 4060. It's the same price as a 3060, so it just wouldn't make sense to get the 4060 anyways. We'll get that slot it in there. Just a 2-slot card there. And really like truly a 2-slot card. It's not just 2 slots and then it extends by itself without the slots. It's really just boom right there on the 2 slots. And then we'll get that 8-pin connector. Oh, I put the CPU cable through. I put the CPU cable through instead of the VGA, and I put the VGA in the wrong. Silly me. I put the CPU there, and then the VGA through there. Didn't I put a zip tie here? It came up. Okay, well, gotta be more careful with these zip ties. Right. So, slide it on through there. And flip it back over. And let's get this slotted in finally here. We're a little bit delayed. I'm barely flipping it over. All right, get that slotted in there. And then this one's a little bit harder for me to do with the case standing up like that. So let me do it this way. So with the tower cooler there and these top fans, it kind of gets hard to reach this 8-pin back here for the CPU. I kind of gotta have it facing me and do it like that. Boom. So that was easier than I thought, but definitely would have been way harder if I tried it with it laying down. All right, so back to some cable management here. So we'll zip tie this. Right. And then 3 zip ties here. So again, this case is zip tie. This case, yeah, just cable manages itself really in a way. I mean, most cases do. Once you figure out how cable management works and stuff, you figure that like the manufacturers of these cases kind of did it for you in a way. With this case, it's a little bit different than others, right? We've seen last week with that 6500. That one really just cable managed itself totally, but this one, you get a little couple different options of what you want to do. But it's all pretty much the same, especially for this CPU cable here. All cases are going to have this CPU cable kind of going up this side anyways, so this is just a regular thing that all cases do here. So this one kind of manages itself in every case, especially this one here. So just 3 zip ties, boom. And then again, we'll stuff these here. Don't have to. You could have them just kind of looping down here, kind of like this power cable is, right? I like to just really get them out of the way, and they're nice and tight so they don't really go anywhere. And again, I'll add some electric tape there. Maybe zip tie this here to those rest of those cables. Pull this one back a little bit, not too tight, just to make it look clean and not tug on the GPU much. Okay, you can stuff it back in there. All right, that's pretty much it there. And then just this back plate for the GPU to cover up those PCIe screws, right? That's pretty much it there. This one was a little bit faster today. I mean, these type of builds are pretty easy, pretty quick, and once you know kind of what you're doing, builds like this, you can get these done pretty quickly compared to the other cases that we have here, right? And there's not much RGB or LCD stuff, right? I mean, there is a ton of RGB, right? But the way that these headers work and all the connectors and stuff, it comes together really easily, really cleanly. So not so hard like the other builds that we work on here, but still very sick, very neat. That's boom. You can do some after stuff just to line some stuff up more, make it look a little bit cleaner. Tug on some of the wires. Boom. Yeah. And there's tons of RGB on this. You flip the cam.
Damn, it's really lame.
Oh, so I'm new, but this is that. So we do have a collab with Deepcool, so it's not just a sticker. This is custom painted into the case itself. Says VRLA up the top here. We got another logo there, and then VRLA there on the side. Yeah, so this is a little collab we got with Deepcool. Pretty sick case. The Matrix case. Let's turn it on. You guys want me to turn this on here, or what? So yeah, tune in on Fridays too. Lock Brunch. It's a hard name to say. Yeah, but tune in on Fridays. If you're new here, we do it every Friday. Today we just kind of did a random one-off, midweek stream here, but we're usually here Friday 2 p.m. Pacific time. Every Friday 2 p.m. Pacific time. But we had a customer request that they wanted their build done on stream, and I promised that we'd do a certain build for the past couple weeks on Friday, and I kept postponing it and doing different builds on those Fridays. So we'll finally do that build this Friday. So I figured might as well, because I didn't want to postpone again, I said might as well do another stream midweek here for the customer. So that's what we did today. But yeah, if you guys want me to turn this on, let me know. But yeah, it's not a custom case. I guess custom in a way. I don't see anybody in chat letting me know to turn it on or not. Ah, there you go. Stash. All right, Stash. Let's go. So automatically that RGB is connected to the motherboard, so it's AsRock's Polychrome software, and that automatically throws it into that rainbow color there. Awesome colors. Sick build here. Let me just turn it this way too, so you can see that diamond RGB strip there on the side. Awesome build here. Yeah. Good, turn off the lights too. So this build here got a 5600X with 4060. Perfect combo, right? For this is well above entry level for sure. Like entry level is probably like a 3050. I mean, you're not gonna be. You could still play like Fortnite on pretty good settings with a 3050, really. But yeah, 4060 with a 5600X, 16 gigabytes of RAM. RGB ran there, right? RGB gives you a little bit more FPS, especially if you put it on red. But yeah, 5600X, Ryzen 5, right? AMD Ryzen 5 5600X with a 4060 NVIDIA 4060 here. Those are going to be the specs on this build here. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabyte NVMe. That was an upgrade. Usually we do 1 terabyte standard on a build like this. But yeah, I just want to show off that diamond strip there, and then you guys can see the rest of that there too, like that. Sick build. Yeah, so this is our Apollo. We call it the Apollo. One of our most purchased builds here at VRLA, if not the most purchased build, right? So very popular build. A lot of people have this in their homes. My stream on my side's a little bit delayed. So I'm trying to see when I turn the case here, so it looks really good when I turn it. Do I finally do it there? Oh yeah, yeah, it looks sick. Get this light back on. So again, not our regular schedule here, just a one-off little thing we did for a customer. And if you do want to request your builds to be built on stream, we could fit it into those Fridays. I just had this one build that I've been promising to get done, so that's why we did this little one-off Wednesday thing here. But yeah, if you want to request your build being done, we could get it, you know, slotted into one of those Fridays that we stream, which is every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Here at VRLA, and I hope you guys are having a great week. It's the middle of the week. Hope to see you guys in on Friday. Hope you have a good rest of your week. We'll catch you on Friday. Thanks you guys for always stopping by and engaging in the chat with me. See you guys later here. David logging out from VRLA. Thank you guys.